What's going on, everybody? Yeah, I do have a treat for you. There's a build that I just put together. It does involve a couple of skills you're familiar with, I'm sure. The Hive and the bleed variant of the Seeker Mine. Just the standard Seeker Mine, but it has bleed on it. But you can see why I'm using it. It has a lot of single damage, as you can see on the single player. It has an 892,907 damage, which is very, very awesome. I'm a little shy of 200,000 damage for PvP damage. That's okay. Primarily with all of the stuff that I have in play, in regard to doing damage, I can pretty much one-shot players. A lot of players I can one-shot with this particular build that I'm using. And the reason that is because I have the BTSU gloves. The BTSU gloves, as we all know, or if you don't know, does have several factors to give you extra damage with your skills. One of the main things is energy infusion. Energy infusion does allow you to gain 10% skill damage based on how many yellows you have. So it's 10%, you know, times 16 pretty much, because I have 16 yellows. Another ideal thing about it is it has charge proxies. Charge proxies is awesome because it gives you an extra 50% more skill damage. And this is just based on just doing a status effect on a particular enemy. You do a status effect, it charges the gloves, you get 50% more damage when you throw it out, which is pretty awesome. Right now I am running the EMP style the grenade with the tactician specialization. Reason being is because I get all of the skill power from it, and I want my skill power to be pretty high so I can run any mod that I want. Ideally, you can use this build in the new update that's coming out on March 3rd. You're going to be able to utilize this build, and ideally it should be pretty strong, you know, especially if we're going to have skills scaling. And if they're scaling with the amount of skill power you have, this build is going to be pretty amazing. It should be pretty good. It's already pretty good in TU7, which is what we're in now. It's good. You can play it in conflict. I'll showcase it as well. You can use it in PvE and PvP because I'm all about all-around builds. You don't need to switch your build to go out and about and have a good time in regard to doing PvE or PvP content. The raid, you might want to spec a little differently, you know. DTE is your friend in the raid, we all know that, but ideally you could use this in a raid if you played it right. You'd be able to, but yeah, ideally it does have the sweet spot for skill builds. It's about 300k armor. You want to have at least 300k armor with any skill build. You can be lower, but you got to play a little bit more conservative at that point. You can't go too crazy with 200k armor or whatnot, and really amazing high skill power. You kind of want to sit back and let your teammates help you out. But even on this build has some decent damage. I have one red, but I still have 21.4 damage coming out of my LMG. I'm using unhinged on the LMG. The unhinged gives me a plus 20% weapon damage at the cost of negative 25% weapon handling, but it doesn't matter because it's on a black market M60E6. They're already pretty stable as is. I also do have mods on it to make it a little bit more stable, but in terms of accuracy, and stuff like that, it's pretty cool. You can shoot from far away or up close, and it works pretty good. And for the shots that don't land, you do have a lot of shots, so you can just pretty much shoot at people as they come towards you, or if they're further away from you, doesn't matter. Ideally, most people are out of cover, so you get a plus 15%, and that really does help this 21.4k damage that we're getting from this particular gun. The other ideal thing about this build, and what makes it awesome, is I have 66% skill haste on just my backpack alone, along with skilled, which is pretty much an awesome for skill builds, because it gives me a 25% chance to reset my skills completely. And ideally, this is going to allow me to throw my Seeker Mine. Remember, I told you I can, sometimes depending on the player, I can one-shot a player with just using my sticky bomb alone. And that's just because of all of the extra skill damage that I'm getting from the BTSU gloves. and if I'm able to throw it more than once, that's even better. And with the extra armor along with the primary damage, even if my skills are down, I still can dish damage in regard to protecting myself. You know, but yeah, let me know what you guys think. I'm gonna go ahead and, you know, you can let me know in the comments. I'm gonna go ahead and let it roll and let you guys see how I performed in conflict with it. You can see how good this build actually is in conflict. I'm not gonna showcase any PvE about this build because I'm just gonna show you guys the PvP, but you get the gist of it. You can just go on out and about, have a good time with this build. It works in PvE or PvP. You can play it this way if you're gonna play in PvE. You know, like I mentioned in my previous videos, you want to always use the turret, the standard turret that shoots targets, and you can switch between the targets as it shoots. Reason being is because that'll proc skill more often as long as you're getting kills and stuff like that. 9 times out of 10 you'll get your skill back. And you want to use the cluster mine if you're going to do PvE. That's my best. That's my, you know, and you can do it solo at that point. You can do challenging. You can do some. You can do heroic. Okay, you could do heroic solo with this build, with the machine gun setup, with the cluster bomb, like I was saying, the cluster seeker mine. Okay, and potentially with the way this build is set up, you'll get your skills back quite often. But yeah, other than that, I'm just be quiet. I'm gonna go ahead and let it roll and let you guys check it out, and I hope you enjoy.
Remember, details about my build will be in the description below. I hope you enjoyed this video, guys. Remember to subscribe if you enjoyed my content and ring that notification bell if you would like to stay up to date with my content. Also, check out my other videos, and I'll see you on the next one. P Dynamite.